right, we are back and we have Miano Mudhe, who's a financial educator, to help us, unpack some of the events of businesses, on face value, and some of the things that we tend to ignore, but then would land us into trouble. You have been asking yourself, you want to set up a business, perhaps you have come across some few millions and you're thinking, where do I begin? It is one thing to begin. It is even difficult for you to sustain that which you have begun. Miano here tells me that business is beyond that transactional process where you've bought, you've sold and all that. There's so much that goes into making sure that there's stability in the business that you set up, and that with a guarantee of these ups and downs that we're talking about. But just how do you successfully manage that to stay afloat? If it's a loan, then to be able to repay, service your loan, and then still have interest that comes out of it. A scenario where you're going to set up a business, you will pay all the employees that you have employed, but at the same time as well pay yourself and sustain the business. So Miano, thank you so much for creating time. Perhaps to bring us to the picture, we start off with your story.
Yeah, I can start with my story.
Yeah.
So currently I'm a YouTuber, and I decided to share my stories, business stories. I've done business since 2007.
Okay.
After high school.
Successfully.
Let's say not successfully.
But at least you're managing.
I've managed businesses, but currently I'm managing successful businesses.
Okay.
And it's through the reasons that I've carried along the way.
Yeah.
Up to, let's say, the last business that I failed in was in 2020.
Okay.
And since then, I took a new leaf. Any small entity I do, I make sure that it has a long-term goal.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently, I'm in the matatu industry, which it's through inheritance.
Yeah.
But
so then you have matatus on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And also, I have a partnership with one of my family members, where we have a garage, a spare parts shop.
Yeah.
Called Tazena.
Okay.
And it's a good shop, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's one of the models that I try to teach people on how to build the perfect business.
Okay.
A business where you can build a good business.
Okay.
All this is because I've been very lucky in life, yeah? My parents gave me, I guess not so many young people get the opportunities that I've got. Because since day one, that 2007, my first business was given a loan of 500 shillings that I didn't pay back. And started, 2007, there was some this soap, liquid soap,
yes.
the blue soap.
Yes, the blue soap. That was very common then.
Yeah, it was common, and it was nauza. So we were three of us.
Yeah.
My mom gave us 500 shillings. We bought chemicals for one mtungi, tukauza, we made a profit, and it grew to something.
Yeah.
Then I went to college, ikaisha, but in college I was doing hustle here, hustle there. And then after college, I took some time, and then in 2014, I didn't go the employment route. I went to the business route. Okay. I started some businesses here and there, and then my dad employed me in his matatu business. Okay. As a manager. Okay. So it's also the employment, but now he wanted to teach me the business aspects of matatu, and matatu is one challenge in business. Okay. I can assure you, that's one of the most challenging businesses because of the income you get. Your 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 you get a day, minus the outputs
that you
give. Yeah. There are so many outputs. I have an article, even a video I've done. Yeah. A 14-seater matatu may end up having 900,000 as expenditure by the end of the year. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's another.
That's almost.
That's another car, you know. Yeah.
75K, almost.
But why is it that people still, are in the industry in all this?
Now, that's the question people ask. And I say the people who are successful, not everyone in the industry is successful. The people who are successful have systems in place. The best example is Super Metro. Super Metro has the best systems I've seen so far, one of the best, not the best, one of the best so far that I've seen when it comes to the matatu industry. let me talk in Swahili. When it comes to matatus, unapatanga you control the income.
Okay.
You are able to control your income.
Yeah.
Money in, well, you are the one who controls
But
it.
money out.
And also the money out, you are the person controlling it.
Okay.
Because the profit of a matatu is what remains after you go to the garage and after you pay the expenses.
Yeah.
And expenditure of matatu. Do you know the insurance part? It's one of the most expensive. A 14-seater matatu, monthly, that party, it's 9K.
What?
Monthly.
Yeah.
That's almost 100 and something thousand in a year.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to put a comprehensive insurance, you add 4% of that.
Yeah.
So it's so challenging when it comes to matatus. And I always tell people this, matatus, when you go to that route, not even matatus, all businesses are challenging. Like what I experienced with my 6 million loss.
Yeah, and that's the story I was looking for.
Yeah.
That 6 million loss, because it could come in as a lesson to very many of us who are watching this morning. Yes.
Yeah. So let's start from the matatus. So my dad, after some time, gave me a loan. I set the loan of 6M. We began a Coca-Cola depot. That Coke depot, the challenges I faced, apart from the interest I was paying on that loan, one mistake I made was going to the business 100% loan.
Okay, 100% loan.
Yeah.
And perhaps with not much knowledge, maybe.
And with zero research on operating the business.
Okay.
The only research I did was how to sell. You see, when you go to
A business
for
and you're thinking,
business, you just look at the profits. Hey, I'm selling 100 crates. I'm selling 200 crates a day. You multiply by the profit you get. But little did I know that there is KRA, that's VAT.
Right.
Little did I know that the profit margin is so little, you need to minimize your expenditure.
Expensive. Yeah.
And you need to have efficient transport. So with that 6 million loan, 5 million was a deposit to Coke.
Coke. Okay.
So I'm left with 1 million.
1 million, yeah.
And I need 2 vehicles.
Okay.
So one mistake, because now I have already suppressed myself, I went and bought a 230K lorry.
Wow. That is probably second hand and not
Hiyo
even best.
ni third.
You had an fourth, honestly, because it's a lorry, yeah?
Just buying that was one of the biggest mistakes.
Because then you have to service it, you have to take care of, you know.
It could another 400 plus.
Kuitengeza.
And it went for 35 trips.
And died again.
Haikunisaidia. It went for 35 trips. Ikamaliza kumanage moja tu. Kumaliza hizo 35 trips. The last day I just went and packed it. And we sold it at a very huge loss. And it didn't help me. So that was one. You see, I've already put 650,000 in a space of 2 months in this vehicle. And then I'm also paying a loan of over 120K a month for the next 5 years.
Okay.
This business, I'm not equipped yet to know
With
all the
knowledge and
challenges.
things. Yeah.
I just went there with greed. Let's say so much of us, we go into business with greed. And that's one of the biggest.
And the assumption that now we have money and so it will run.
It will run.
Yeah.
And business is so challenging, but it's so sweet.
Okay.
But the challenges are now, hizo ndo sasa ziwe za watu.
And that's the reason why we're here this morning. We want to understand what are these challenges of business? How do we maneuver? How do we successfully say that now I've got into a space where I am a successful business person?
Yeah.
Successful in the sense that with all the businesses that, or all the businesses opportunities that I'm presented to, I can manage to, you know, conduct and all that. I can manage to at least create a balance on the risks that are available. And you know, and how do I get to a space where you say, fine, the loss is here, I have taken a loan worth 6 million, I've not been able to have something sustainable out of it, and I am still paying it and all that, but I will stand to soldier on. Allow us to take a quick short break, and then we come back on that very note.
Okay, thank you.
aspects of business, the ups and downs that come along with that, and how you get to a space where you can say successfully, I think I can manage this space of business. He is a financial educator. You can find him on his YouTube platforms. You know, he constantly speaks to some of this matter, and he'll be telling us what is the name of the account. But before then, you have spoken about the fact that, you know, people get into business when you have the money and you think it's going to be an easy ride, but there are a lot of challenges that come along with that.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of wisdom then is required. So let's speak to these challenges that, you know, one would have to face on a general perspective, and you know, whether there are instances where one can go through lessons that you teach maybe online, and maybe when they begin a business, they don't have to go through some of these challenges, or if they have to face them, they understand how best they can handle them. And even better, if they face the challenges, how do they decide it's okay, this one is a fall, but it's a learning experience, let's move to the other?
Okay, the biggest challenge, first of all, I can say is when you're starting a business, make sure if it's a loan you're taking, make sure you already have cash 30% or more of that amount belongs. Okay,
so it shouldn't be 100% loan.
That was one of the biggest mistakes I made.
Okay.
So make sure you have 30+%. If it's 100, the better. But 30% of the amount that you are going to invest in your business, business should not be about a loan. Yeah, because now in Kenya, loans are very expensive. And I've shared that like 3 times in my videos, the expensive ways, because just assessing a loan, 10% to 15% is gone. You see? So the first thing is loans. The second thing I can tell people when you're starting a business, comply with the local authority and KRA, especially if it's a big business. Hizi biashara ndogo ndogo, KRA it doesn't really haisumbuangi sana. But if you have big goals,
comply.
Hardwares, spare parts, like now our Tazena, which is a spare shop, we made sure that we had complied with KRA from the first sale.
Yeah.
There is this new electronic machines, the VAT. We made sure we had bought them way before the deadline. The deadline was this year, January. We had them a year ago because we wanted to comply from day one. Up to today, we are still complying. So that's one stress gone. So you are sure hautaijipata when your business is growing, you're
the wrong side of the law.
Yeah, and then the good thing when you're starting, mistakes, when you make mistakes za VAT na taxes, hazikuangi pesa mingi. And you are now educating yourself. Ili that moment you grow, you now have the capacity to understand what you're doing. And these mistakes are mistakes that they can wipe away from you. They give you some incentives. Unaweza ukipoteza ama ukikosa kuelewa, wanaweza kuwipia out, especially the first 1 to 3 years. And with understanding the VAT and the tax code always changes. Understanding that income tax is always good. And then ulipata hizi nini zako za county. Kama unafanya sales, lipia gari zako.
Okay.
Each county you are entitled into. Now, hiyo ni stress umetoa.
Yeah.
Now when you go to do that business, before hata kucomply na hizo vitu nimesema, reduce your expenses as much as possible. Sisi hatulipi rent. Tulitengeneza shop ya mabati.
Okay. You get land and then
tukatengeneza ka shop kama mabati.
Okay.
The reason with that to reduce the rent amount, we could have managed to do that, but tumepunguza rent. But you have to put security there. But now, when you reduce your expenditure as much as possible and treat your employees right, chances of you going far, even when the business is not doing well, are higher. Chances of you surviving the new before upatikane ama ujulikane, before you start making profits, are very much higher with the amount of money you started. And then now from there, before the first step, sasa nilianza na hizi za ukishaanza biashara, the first step, always do your research, due diligence when you start in a business. Any business, no matter what. Because now, I have a friend with my YouTube channel, some people call me and I do consultations on business.
Yeah.
And I give you 2 examples. One called me on Sunday, he wanted to start a matatu. He has 500,000. Anataka kununua hii matatu mzee. Na anataka he wants it to employ someone with that matatu. But what Kenyans do, most of us, ni kusikiza story. When I put him, nilimueleza that hata siku I don't discourage someone to start a business. I just give you the facts. I tell you matatu, the benefits. I always start with the benefits. Cash flow utapata because now money in, money out, and your bank account will be so clean. But now, are you ready to deal with the challenges that comes with them? And because I am in that industry, I can explain to you each and every challenge that comes with the matatu. Go and find someone who is in the industry that you want, or you can hire a researcher. Who, if it's 5 million you want to invest, why can't you spend like 10 to 20K just to someone for you to do a research for you? You can do questionnaires, you can do an online search, anything to make sure you secure your money. It's so important. And that's the most important thing. Hakuna biashara mbaya, by the way. There is no bad business. The only business I don't encourage, I have done videos about, is the crab business, because now that's for my own moral reasons. But any other business I know, hakuna biashara mbaya.
It's how you manage it.
And then the last thing, bookkeeping. The reason why my 6 million business, and people can watch it on my YouTube channel, I'm M Mothi by the YouTube. So the reason why we didn't kosana with my parents was because I'm a good bookkeeper.
So of course you could present the records and say, well, for this reason, this could not.
I kept the records from day 1 to the last. And I know exactly the losses I made and where the money went. Out of those 6 million, the only money I couldn't account for was 70,000. Na hiyo ni ile yenye tuliosha tukasa, I can't account for that. Now I can be blamed on that. But just assume I didn't have good records. What would have happened? Ningeambia mzazi, wewe ndio ulikuta biashara. You know, na? So you would have had a strange relationship as according to other places. And then after those records, always keep them. There are so many places you can record. I have shared a video where I did a construction project last year. Sorry, I do so many projects. And that construction project that I did, I had an Excel sheet. I was keeping my records. Siku hizi huwezi, si lazima uweke records na pen. You can use your phone. You can create apps that just record keeping, and you'll be good to go.
Okay. All right. Record keeping, very, very important, as you rightfully hear. What is this secret that gets someone bouncing back? Because we have seen very many people say, you know, I'm investing this on business. It's a do or die. It is all the money that I have. It's a loan that I have taken. It has to work. Then it fails to work. Some of them would, you know, get into suicidal moments, will have mental attacks. Some of them would decide, well, that's fine. That was a lesson. Now let's keep soldiering. And sometimes we could say that you are lucky because maybe there was that, you know, support from family and all that. How do you bounce back?
The stigma is there. I won't deny that. Even though we worked it out and I explained it, I couldn't face my dad for almost 6 months. Because the disappointment is there. I couldn't face my mom. Even my society, there is that stigma. So for me, this is what I did. After calculating the loss, I went and searched what is it that nini nimebakisha. Tumelipa hii loss, tumefanya nini imebaki. I had a tuk-tuk. Worth 130K. And then I realized I can bounce back in my town, but the stigma will always be there, and the stress will always be there. So what will I do? I packed my bags. I sold my tuk-tuk. Remember, I had 138K after selling that tuk-tuk. I came to Nairobi. Far away, it was back in, the business closed down in 2019 December.
Yeah.
So 2020 January, I came to Nairobi and I decided to start it off. By the way, and then I humbled myself. Number 2, because now I was a rich kid, somehow. Now you are rich in such a business. I realized that I can't, siwezi shuka nikiwa Ocha, but Tao hakuna mtu ananijua. Mimi nilipotelea Tao, nikakaa hapa, nikapata opportunity ya, nikarealize with this money naweza uza mboga.
Okay.
I went, bought a scooter, nikaeka crate, nikaingia Marikiti. I had a cousin of mine mwenye anaelewa mambo ya net, ya programming. We made an app. Na nikaanza kuuza mboga
online sasa. Okay.
And then COVID hit. You know, mboga tukahit.
Already square one. Oh, nyinyi because now at this point deliveries at home because watu wataki kwenda sokoni.
I remember in January 2020 when the app went live. Late January, we were me, Grover and Safe Border. I was the 5th entrant.
Yes. Into this successful moment.
Into online
deliveries.
And I remember only Grover was serious, and Grover was selling, ilikuwa inauza
is it foods, fast foods zenye zimepikwa and all that.
Yeah, inaendea supermarket. Me now I'm supplying my own stuff.
Down from ground.
Yeah, naenda Ocha natafuta mchele. There is a friend of mine anaitwa it's a cousin also, and also a good friend. I didn't know he was my cousin then. But anaitwa Mwanikiwa Moshere. I went and told him, now I have this app. When he realized, because he knows me and he knows I'm aggressive, he came and told me, I'll be supplying for you rice from Baraka, and then we package it well, 5 kg, 10 kg, naanza kuuza.
Yeah.
My first video on YouTube was me supplying my rice. Hata ukienda into my histories.
Yeah.
First 2 videos zilikuwa zangu nikisupply mchele.
How do you get to win the confidence, from the clients? Because also this is food that you're handling during the time of COVID-19, and you have to win that confidence from your clients and across.
Packaging too.
Yeah.
Just confidence.
Yeah.
Now, imagine when you're down, you have to be confident enough to push, because the moment you lay down. Stress hapo ndo inakujanga. Don't be, by the moment you have a huge loss in life, either it's through death or business, any loss, what I've realized is always be active, especially the first 2 to 3 months. Be as active as you can. And then slowly now you start living with that. You start living with that. Be as active as you can, and then now you start living with that. If I stayed at home, I'm from Sagana. If I made a mistake and stayed at home, chances are
you could have just.
Yeah, I've seen friends of mine wamenunuliwa lori na wazazi, wamenunuliwa gari. It doesn't work. Because so many Kikuyu parents don't buy you the vehicle.
Yes.
They take a loan for you. No?
Yeah. So that you commit as well. Yes.
Watu wengi ushindwa, especially those first businesses, if you are a joker. So majority ushindwa. What happens with these people, they become drunks way later, because they are unable to handle the reality of the matter.
Yes.
So what I would suggest is usikubali kukaa pale.
Yeah.
Just try to venture out. And then when it comes to clients, just be courageous enough.
Yeah.
With my small scooter, and also by me going and registering my business, I was able to access Nairobi West Hospital. You know it?
Yes.
And I became their sole supplier of vegetables.
Nice.
For 2020 and 2021.
Okay. And here you are.
Yeah.
It's a story of success. But that does not mean that even with what it is that you do, the challenges cease.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, there will always be challenges. So even in this, how do you manage it out of the lessons that you picked and now where it is that you are, to be sure that despite the tough terrains of business, you will be there tomorrow?
So what I do is just me, my motto is,
Yeah.
even I always say this, just work hard and work on your part.
Yeah.
And always live within your means.
Right.
Make sure you are living within your means. That's the first thing. Live within your means, or below. And if you want to grow wealth, it's below your means.
Yeah.
If you are making 100 shillings, live with 50 shillings.
Yes.
Live within or below. Sometimes in Kenya, it's especially the lower class, it's hard to live within your means.
Yeah.
So below your means, sometimes because it's hand and mouth. But if you just manage to live within your means or below your means, now you're creating opportunity for savings.
Yes.
And then now for growing wealth. And don't rush for business. Biashara haitaipotea.
Right.
Opportunities are always there. New opportunities are always there. And don't listen to people. That's another thing. I don't listen to people. Ati stories za watu.
Yeah.
I made money there. Say that.
Usikimbilie huko.
Hiyo ni yako. You made your money. Yangu itakuja. So me, my motto is let excess find me as long as I'm working hard.
Yeah.
Rather going for that excess.
Yes.
Ukimbilia excess itakuwa
kwa zibure.
Yeah.
All right. So what is this one thing that you would advise a person who gets into business today or wishes to get into business? And I know somewhere along the line you have, but this is for the benefit of the people who are just joining us. And, you know, because this is the reality. Understanding all these challenges that are there out of research, out of listening to people. There are also those ones that have the money, but they fear getting into that space because they're thinking, what if? And so as time goes by, they end up spending that money and, you know, not putting it into business. While there's someone who has very little money. Today we're talking about the Hustler Fund, 500 bob, and they get into business and they grow it over time.
Yeah.
So what is your advice to them?
Do you know it's easier to grow that 500 shillings because now it's the point of entry is small. There's businesses, there are many businesses that you can start with that 500 shillings as long as you do it right. So my biggest advice is don't be greedy.
Yes.
Don't do it because of greed.
Yeah.
Greed, I heard that it makes money. That's number one. Don't be greedy. And then number two, keep your records. Keep your records. Live below your means. Now you can grow it.
Yes.
And then the most important thing, whatever you're going to take part in, do your research.
Do your research.
Do your utmost research.
Yeah.
And chances of you being successful will be higher. Hautajua kila kitu. By the way, research gives you only 10% of the knowledge of a business.
Some of them you learn as you continue.
Yeah, but now the good thing with that research, it gives you the shock absorbers, the shocks.
Yes.
To survive the challenges of that business. Yeah.
All right, loans. Would you advise for people to access loans when they can? For purposes of growing the business? Or if you can avoid, you're better off?
It's always better to avoid them.
Yeah.
But if you can't, make sure you own at least 30% or more.
Yeah.
Of that loan that you can afford in case your biashara ianguke ama hiyo pesa ipotee, at least you can afford, you have 30% of that.
Of that,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's always good to do that because with that 30%, it shows that after year 60 ingine, you have room to pay it.
Yeah.
You can create room. And,
All right. It's beyond what is enshrined in books. Sometimes you really want to get practical examples, you know, practical stories from people who've been through it. And we can't thank you enough, Miano, for sharing your experience, but most importantly, the knowledge that is out here. You know, these small things that we get to listen to are very helpful for us to now move to the next step. So again, you speak of your YouTube page. How do they get a hold of you? How do they listen to some of the advices that we've had right now? And I mean, the others that you've posted on your platform.
So I'm Miano Modi in all platforms, apart from Twitter, where it's Miano Willy Modi. Miano W Modi. That's, my name's Miano Willy. I'm Modi Willy Miano.
Okay.
So all my handles are Miano Modi.
Yeah.
So everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere Miano Modi. But mostly I post long form content because now I have to explain it well.
Yeah.
Short form content I really explain them. And currently I'm so interested in real estate that I'm
trying to learn
to run it and also explore it, and I'm sharing that journey with people. And those videos where they are doing well.
All right.
And also watch them.
That's good. So you cleared the 6 million loan? You're in the process of clearing.
Tulijaribu.
Well, it can be a hassle, and especially when you are a one-man, or it's a one-man affair. So when you get into it, as Miano would tell you, please be careful and do not give up, because then these challenges will always be there, but how you handle them is what will determine how you survive. Thank you so much, Miano Mudhi, for speaking to us this morning. Financial educator, and like you rightfully heard, that he has some of these sessions on his social media platform, so you would want to check him out for purposes of understanding how to set up a business and how to stay